Poems Under the Dome. His original concept was this event.
Let's go read some poetry.
Find that common thread and let it flourish. The spoken word, or as the kids say, word.
Supervisor John Avalos has been generous enough to work with us.
Jimmy Santiago Vaca, 14. El Pablo was a bad dude. Presidente of the River Rat, 700 strong from 67 to 73. Hands so fast, he could catch 2 flies buzzing in air and still light his cigarette. From a flat foot standing position, he jumped to kick the top of the door jamb twice with each foot. Pants and shirt creased and cuffed, sharp, pointy shoes, polished to black glass. El Pachucon was cool to the bone, brother. His initials were etched on junior high school desks, Castañeda's meat market walls, downtown railway bridge, on the red bricks of the civic auditorium. Uptown and downtown, El Pachucon left his mark. Back to the wall, legs crossed, hands pocketed, combing his grease-back ducktail. When a Jaime walked by, cool to the huesos. Now he's a janitor at Pajarito Elementary School, still hangs out. By the cafeteria, cool to the bone. El Vato still wears his sunglasses, still proud. He leads a new gang of neighborhood parents to the Los Padilla Community Center to fight against polluted groundwater, against developers who want to urbanize his rural running grounds. Standing in the back of the crowd last Friday, I saw Pablo stand up and yell at the civic leaders from City Hall. Listen, cuates, you pick your weapons. We'll fight you on any ground you pick.
My name is Guinevere, Groundswell. Breakfast plays his saxophone into the streets of San Francisco, hundreds dancing, chanting, "Occupy everything," and some other catchy slogans and hashtags and hand signals and drums and drums. I hold up my signs too, marker and sweat mixing together they blur. I'm sure they're witty and clever and whatever, and what are we doing here again? We are the massive manifestations of the collective discontent spilling over from uplifted common consciousness across trails and news feeds and drums, right. So Margot and I go the wrong way with a few protesters who stray off towards Bryant Street. And people who get lost are for the 99% too, we giggle. As we look at each other, our faces sweaty, they seem to be encased in glass like fish in an aquarium. "There!" shouts a woman with a megaphone, but she says this to us not through the megaphone. And sure enough, there they are. Young and old, stinky and neat, some of them naked as supermarket meat. Screaming despite the snarls of police, and you can taste the heat, and drums and drums. Excuse me, there's no smoking here. We're trying to create a very safe space where everybody feels welcome. Fuck you, no one's gonna tell me how to be a revolutionary. Hey, take it easy, you guys. It's non-violence. Let's create our own currency. They'll just print more of their own. And if we burn the banks, they'll arrest us. Duh. We need to create our own and all just withdraw all of our money at the same time. When? Guy Fawkes Day. We talked about it. The GA. Follow me. We tweet to consensus. And what do we want? I want housing, healthcare, education. I want to take back the nation. I want my 5 minutes of fame. I want a fair wage. I want to get laid. And corporate greed. Legalize weed. Tax Wall Street. And a pulsing plurality of voices and Frank Chu. And drums and drums. All of the hands holding telephones shift like periscopes raised from the submarine of film, a banging hot chick in a Wonder Woman outfit. She's on top of a newspaper stand proclaiming, "They foreclosed on my family's home, and they buried me in student loans, and I'm here to occupy." A wave of cries rise to reply, echoes sweep across offices, apartments, shops, and boutiques, out of the buses and into the streets. Community drivers beep and drums and drums. A very serious man with a seriously expensive camera asks me questions with a very serious tone. He wants to analyze and justify and explain the movement and dissect it so that he can publish his findings. I'm sure there are many men wearing neckties who will skim his words at work or on the way. I don't care much for what he yes to say for the same reason I never want to know the scientific chemical reaction process that makes the leaves change colors and grow crunchy and fall. There's so much magic everywhere. And drums. A 17-year-old girl with a bandana covering half of her face with some anarchist literature stuffs it into my purse next to the general strike flyers. My poem is next to a dude dressed in a King of Hearts, and he gave it to me. My purse is hella occupied. Mic check. In Oakland, Scott Olson was attacked while peacefully demonstrating. We will shut down the ports. Whose streets? Our streets. We are each other's microphones, amplifiers, documentation, inspiration, and drums. This is bigger than me. There's a shared sense of, hey, did you feel that? Like an earthquake, when all the lights are flickering, and the world seems to shift, and you either freeze, or you move out of the way, and you notice everything. Your eyes become lasers, directing focused beams of attention towards the strangest thing, like this subtle difference in a shade of two bricks, or the way that some wires look like corset ties in the sky begging to be unraveled, and how the pavement suffocates the plants underneath in the smell of a freshly lit match, and we're breathing one breath, and beating one beat, and there's tears in my face, and I'm not sure if they're my own, because I don't remember crying, I just remember dancing, and singing, and laughing, and drums, and...
I'm Jeremy Miller, pie-faced pig nigga in China's Rose, a love story. Otherwise known as a brief history of the dome. Pie-faced pig nigga had always had a thing for ladies, and by the time of his coronation, he had made a king's ransom off of facilitating divorces, and the freedom of his willy was the stuff of legends. Made John Holmes look like a eunuch compared to the amount of people he fucked, matter of fact. And there was something else kind of peculiar about the guy. My did pie-faced pig nigga love the green? My did he love the green? Pie-faced pig nigga loved the green so much that he would turn up at Irish Republican Army meetings even though pie-faced pig nigga was quite brown. And one day when he was putting some green in his pack, he met China's Rose, who, complete with chew in her cheek, seduced the old hog. Together they decided to buy a city. Now the people of this city really liked their freedom. In fact, they were famous for it. So pie-faced pig nigga, and China's Rose had to try real hard to convince them to take the king. Well, old Pie-Face told the people that they needed a nigga real bad, and he was their hope. This was before that big O changed politics. And it was a new deal. So the people elected old Pie-Face, and the first thing he did showing up was plant Rose's garden. This may be the most celebrated Chinese garden outside of the PRC. Well, next thing old Pig-Face did was build a new palace with a giant golden dome. Shanghaied the hell out of people by paying for it with their housing and healthcare money, but by the end of it, they thought they wanted a king. Well, sure enough, every king needs a successor, so King Pie-Face Pig Nigga brought up Powder-Face Frozen Hair right up out of water and put him on the throne. This freed up old Pie-Face to pack in some more green and waltz in the roses conveniently placed right behind the throne. Well, Powder-Face Frozen Hair had a drinking problem, but he cleared that. And he had some daily problems, but he cleared that too. Had some debts to the homeless and the queers too, but he cleared those, though it might not have been quite so legal how he did that. Well, eventually, true to his name, Powder-Face Frozen Hair had to take a powder before his reign ended, but not before closing the last food bank to pay for a war on Tibet, and telling folk it was illegal to sit and lie, so they had to run on. He sure made old Pie-Face Pig Nigga and China's Rose proud. Thing was, with everybody running, they needed to appoint someone who couldn't run to sit in the throne. They appointed a mustache, feeling like he wouldn't ask for too much, being he had no stomach. Well, being a mustache, and not a man, with legs and things, everyone believed him when he said he wouldn't run. And amazing thing, sure enough, he ran and he won. Must have been all the money recycled by Pig Nigga and China's Rose, Chew Loving Rose. And in the midst of all this, there were two Eds in the government. Now, one was a Jew and having nothing to do with the fate of Abraham, went to prison for stealing a lot of money. The other Ed was a lie, pronounced with a raised vowel, and gave a lot of money to the prison industry. Now, Mustache was generous. He gave a lot of money to Ford, who took it after destroying the bus system. And unlike Pie-Face Pig Nigga and Powder-Face, Mustache was never popular with the ladies, so he gave lucrative contracts to the most managed lady-run trucking company the world's ever known. And why he gave so much money that the health clinics had to close, and the bus system had to militarize to collect more fares. Well, when your kind's in power, you tend to feel powerful, and so naturally the pigs killed a lot of people under the dynasty of Pie-Face Pig Nigga and his successors. And what with all the bus money funny, it ain't no science what happened to young Kenny when he didn't pay his fare. Shoot, them pigs so on one they even trying to incarcerate a fly. Well, there's more to tell of mustache and frozen hair and pie face and China's rose, but time's going, so I thought y'all just might like to know something about this here dome. And for further adventures, check out Mr. Charlie Walker's public TV show.